You find a property you love, submit a strong offer, then lose to an all-cash buyer. You spend the rest of the night aggressively refreshing Zillow, wondering exactly how you are supposed to compete. Here is the contradiction. 77% of homes in Florida are actually selling for less than their original list price. If most homes are selling at a discount but you are still losing, the problem isn't the price. It is the fact that in a market with this much uncertainty, sellers are prioritizing the speed of cash over the top-line number of a financed offer. To win, you have to move past the traditional solo agent model. You need an ecosystem brokerage, a coordinated team that uses financial engineering and media production to create structural leverage. Most agents operate in 30-day windows with basic photos and standard contingencies. The ecosystem model replaces that with 10-day closes, bridge loans, cinematic media, and forensic pricing. Winning a luxury negotiation requires treating the transaction like a corporate acquisition. You are no longer just finding a house. You are building the institutional weight required to take it off the market. The process begins with an intake phase that looks nothing like a casual conversation. It is a structured Q&A designed to map out community rules, everything from pet weight limits and HOA insurance mandates to the Friday night neighborhood vibe. By gathering this data before you ever tour a home, the brokerage can align your lifestyle with a specific subdivision, which prevents the financial and emotional cost of relocator remorse. The trade-off for this level of precision is a longer pre-search phase. You are intentionally narrowing your options to a very small pool of acceptable homes. In a market where inventory is already tight, this forensic approach requires significantly more patience than simply touring every house with a for sale sign. You are sacrificing immediate activity for deep research. It is the only way to ensure you don't spend millions on a neighborhood that doesn't fit. If you need to buy a new home before selling your current one, you are usually stuck with a subject to sale contingency. To bypass this, the ecosystem utilizes a preferred broker bridge loan. This sequence allows you to place a non-contingent offer on a new property first. You put your old home on the market afterward, and the interest on the bridge loan is only paid once that old home closes. Because your offer isn't tied to a prior sale, you have the same speed and negotiating power as a buyer with a suitcase full of cash. The trade-off is that you carry the interest costs on the old house while it sells. You have to trust that the brokerage can move your property quickly enough to minimize those costs. To further neutralize cash competitors, these teams use a 10-day close for conventional and FHA loans, often combined with a 3-2-1 interest rate buydown that lowers your payments for the first 3 years. Accessing these tools requires you to surrender your choice of lender to the brokerage's integrated partner and submit to intensive upfront paperwork before the search even begins. Financial engineering requires high transparency and early effort, but it is the only way for a financed buyer to legitimately threaten an all-cash offer. For sellers, protecting equity starts with forensic pricing. Instead of guessing based on online estimates, the brokerage pays for an objective pre-appraisal before the house is listed. Dealing with the appraisal immediately prevents a 6-figure gap from surfacing weeks later and killing your deal while you're already packed for a move. This forces you to face a realistic valuation on day one. You lose the emotional comfort of an inflated list price, but you gain the ability to win from the start. Once the price is set, the brokerage deploys an in-house team of journalists and cinematic videographers. You have to follow a strict production schedule, including twilight night shoots, professional home staging, and on-camera interviews. It is more invasive than a solo agent taking cell phone photos, but the output is designed to reach specific high-net-worth individuals. Combining an accurate pre-appraisal with high-end production transforms a house into a financial product, maximizing the visibility needed to justify top-of-market pricing. A single real estate transaction involves over 150 independent logistical steps, from HOA applications to coordinating specialized vendor inspections. In the traditional model, a solo agent's attention is fractured. They are trying to manage all of these disparate deadlines and documents alone while also trying to negotiate your deal. The ecosystem model uses a dedicated concierge staff to handle those logistical branches. This keeps the lead agent focused entirely on the central strategy. Removing administrative work allows the agent to focus exclusively on analyzing market data and executing the contract negotiation. The trade-off is that you will interact with different specialists for your day-to-day needs. You are choosing a corporate team structure over a single personalized point of contact. Treating a transaction like a regimented acquisition is the most reliable way to ensure that critical legal contingencies and dates are never missed. When the goal is protecting equity or winning a high-stakes negotiation, the difference between a person who just opens a door and a strategist who engineers a deal becomes very clear. This scorecard helps determine if your specific situation is a match for the ecosystem approach. This model is built for financed relocators who need to compete with cash, and for luxury sellers who need professional-grade visibility to command a premium price. It is not the right fit if you are browsing casually and want to avoid financial vetting, or if you prefer a slow, solo agent relationship over a corporate team. You don't need $1 million in cash sitting in the bank to buy $1 million lifestyle. Success requires partnering with a strategist who has the institutional infrastructure to move the timeline, the marketing, and the numbers in your favor.